Yeah, we have, for the past two elections, we've had referendum questions on the ballot with respect to our home rule charter. This coming general election, we're going to have 5 more questions on the ballot, and I am briefly going to go through those. These will be the last questions to update our home rule charter. As I said, there's 5 questions. Question number 1 has to do with the treasurer's position. The Monroeville Home Rule Charter amended to give the Monroeville Council the option of merging the duties of the elected tax collector with that of the municipal treasurer. Now, our Home Rule Charter has the municipal treasurer's position. Basically, it's not a position, it's a depository when relating to local governments, and usually that means it's a bank or a trust. A lot of municipalities may have a bank as their treasurer, and they come in and reconcile accounts, and that's in very smaller municipalities. The Home Rule Charter Committee and Council believe that the municipal treasurer should be an individual with qualifications to perform the financial duties of the position, somebody with a CPA or an MBA, or et cetera, and the council should have the option, this is an option, to appoint such a person in lieu of the elected tax collector at the end of his or her term, at which time the 2 positions would be combined. The Home Rule Charter Committee and Council are recommending a yes vote on this on question number 1. Question number 2 is in 4 parts, and it has to deal with contracts. The Monroeville Home Rule Charter Committee amended to reflect the Commonwealth purchasing laws with respect to, number 1, competitive bidding in the thresholds, number 2, exceptions to competitive bidding, number 3, the deletion of a 2-year term of a contract, and 4, unenforceable contracts. Back in 1974, when the Home Rule Charter was passed, the competitive bidding threshold was anything between $4,000 and $10,000 had to be a sealed bid. That was changed in 2011 under Act 90, where it was now it is up to $20,100. Over that amount, you have to have a sealed bid, and it increases pursuant to the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. We have it right now in our Home Rule Charter that it's still what it was back in 1974. Although we are looking at right now, anytime we go out for competitive bid, it is under what the state law is. That's the first part of that. The second part is in conjunction with that as far as exceptions to competitive bidding, and that would be under $20,100. Now, in between $10,000 and $20,100, you have to get 3 telephonic quotes. And the same would hold true with respect to professional services such as attorneys and engineers. They do not have to have a competitive bidding, but they do have to have an RFP, and the RFP part of that is just our Home Rule Charter. That is not state law. The third part is the term of contracts. Right now, our Home Rule Charter states that we cannot enter into a contract more than 2 years. Well, that kind of hamstrings us a little bit, because if we can get into a contract that offers savings, and everybody can identify with this, the more you go into a contract, the cheaper it can become for commodities or anything else. I mean, now we don't normally do that, but we would like to have that option in order to have savings for the taxpayers. Also, there's a provision, number 4, of unenforceable contracts. Now, if for some reason there would be staff or myself would send out a contract that would be illegal, in order to avoid litigation in conjunction with the solicitor, we should be able to pay that contract under ordinance in case it was for some reason an illegal contract. If I sent out and signed a contract that was illegal, either purposely or unintentionally, we should be able to resolve that issue in consultation with our solicitor, and that would be under ordinance. So the summary of those 3 parts of the contracts is the Home Rule Charter Committee and Municipal Council are recommending a yes vote on ballot question number 2. And just to interject, we have these on the website right now, And at all the polling places, like we have had the last 2 elections, we will have a whiteboard with a simple explanation, as simple as it can get, for all 5 of the questions. Question number 3 has to do with investigative, hearing, and subpoena powers. Right now, basically, it states that we cannot have any subpoena powers with out-of-state vendors. And the first part of this would change that, to amend that, and the second part would be to the current language of the Home Rule Charter states the effect that any party ignoring a subpoena shall pay a fine and possible imprisonment. Because the above parties, meaning the municipality, we may not have the authority to do that. To issue such fines in an imprisonment, the amended language follows applicable Commonwealth of Pennsylvania law. Okay, so that would follow the Pennsylvania law. So the summary of question number 3 would be the Home Rule Charter Committee and Municipal Council are recommending a yes vote on number 3 to update subpoena powers of the municipality, or the lack of the power they may not have on it. Question number 4 is that if you are appointed to council, right now it states in our Home Rule Charter that you have to run in the next non-municipal election year. Well, following state law, that would be that you have to run in the next municipal election or odd year coming up. So council is recommending a yes vote on that. Just to add to that, there's a second part to that. The same amended language would apply whenever 4 or more vacancies exist on council, which would be extremely rare, by which upon petition of the remaining members of council, any of the 5 electors, residents of the municipality being filed with the Court of Common Pleas of Allegheny County shall run in a special election in the next municipal election, not either municipal or non-municipal, but just municipal election following Commonwealth law. And council and the Home Rule, council and the solicitor is recommending a yes vote on that. And the final question has to deal with recall. Recall is the removal of any person of an elected office of the municipality at a recall election. And there are 2 reasons for this, is that the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has ruled that recall is not permitted. And recall violates the Pennsylvania Constitution under certain provisions. So the Home Rule Charter Committee and the Municipal Council is recommending a yes vote on that and a yes vote on all 5 questions. If anybody has any questions that they want to talk to anybody, they're more than welcome to call me. My number is on the website. Can call me and ask me between now and November 6th for the general election if they have any specific questions, but this will be on the website. And that concludes my report, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Little? Very good. Thank you, Mr.